The next stage is if you're interested in remodeling the countertop. This can seem like an intimidating process, but it's actually not too bad. I'll show you how to remove the old ones, show you how it attaches to the cabinets, and a couple steps on what you need to do to remove it first. You start with the plumbing. And if you see under here, you can see that I've removed a couple of the pieces. There's the PVC pipe called the P-trap that comes down from here and connects to the wastewater. You want to remove this section, and then you'll want to shut off your valves and disconnect the feed lines. Make sure if you're keeping the same sink faucet, please replace these because they do wear out and it's not a place to save money. You always want to replace these braided lines anytime you're doing this work. So once you have the plumbing disconnected here, you're going to want to separate the countertop along the back wall where it connects into the drywall. So you're going to want to run first a knife in case it's painted, or if there's adhesive or caulk between the wall and the drywall and the countertop. You want to open that up here, and then you want to get a putty knife and continue to work that along the edges like that. And also over here, make sure you get any seams along the drywall. Cutting this right here to get a good separation. A lot of times you'll get paint, and if you don't cut this cleanly ahead of time, you'll rip off big pieces of paint that you shouldn't have to fix. All right, so we'll start to get this backsplash removed, and then we'll start busting up the countertop with a sledgehammer. All right, we're getting ready to remove the backsplash. So there was a ton of adhesive down here. Just taking my putty knife, made sure that it slides all the way along here. Cutting as much adhesive with that as you can. And then we're going to switch, so we've gone all the way along here, perimeter. We're going to switch to different type of pry bars, and I want to show you two that I think are fantastic. This one is primarily for pulling trim. They call it the trim puller. It's got this wedge in here so that once it starts to pry down, it automatically kind of separates and holds the area open. It's really a good surface area, and that helps for not splitting wood when you're removing trim. So this is a fantastic tool for getting trim out without ruining it, so you can reuse it. And then this is my favorite tool for demolition. This is a pry bar I found years ago, but what's unique about it is it's got a joint right here, so you can swivel this head into like I think a dozen different positions depending on how you're doing it. And you can pull nails, of course, with it, but just for leverage, big flat surface on the back for prying, and the ability to adjust the head comes in so handy. All right, so let's pull the backsplash off here and see how this looks. First thing we do is check to see which one comes off first. You can see with this joint that this one is back against the wall and this one is butted up against it. So you want to pull this one off first, because if you tried to pull this one, you'd be hitting this piece. So we will start here on the edges, work our way down, and see how much drywall we tear up. All right, so we've run this trim piece with the wedge all along here, trying to break up some of that glue on the backside. Just pull this down and see how it looks. All right, not too bad. So when you have a damaged drywall like this, the good news with our countertops is the cabinets that we purchased are 3 inches higher than these original. So with a backsplash on top of that, this is not going to need to be cut out. But even if you are not removing this drywall, anytime you've torn the paper off, make sure you put a skim coat on it. So just whatever spackle you use, basic one for repairs is fine, but you need to put some covering on here with the spackle to help it from absorbing moisture and damaging. So even if you're covering this up, make sure you treat any tears like this. Now for the coolest part of demo day, destroying the countertop. So we've got the backsplash off, looks pretty good. First prize would be pull this off, carry it out as a single piece, resell it, you know, on a marketplace for 10 bucks. Hopefully somebody will use it instead of it going to a landfill. Unfortunately, ours is stupid ugly. Nobody wants it. And we're on the second floor, bathroom and renovation. So I can't carry this down 2 flights of stairs by myself and get it to the dumpster. So plan B is you bust it up in little pieces. But I wanted to show, you'll see a little bit of a gap here. When I just lift on this edge, you can see that this countertop is really just resting on the cabinet frame. There's likely some drops of adhesive along the way that you can clean off easily with a utility knife or a putty knife, but it's usually pretty simple to get these back up. Now, when you put down your new countertop, I do recommend using something like liquid nails or PL400 to adhere this ceramic to wood. Make sure when you're shopping for adhesive, it'll say right there on the label what it's for, like wood to wood contact, wood to concrete, wood to all surface. Make sure you get the right type of adhesive that says countertop to cabinet. All right, let's bust it up into a whole lot of pieces. Oh, before I start that, most important thing is I've got eye protection, and my hearing's already terrible because when I was younger, I didn't take time to wear any kind of hearing protection. So I'm doubling down on that so I don't lose any more of my hearing. It's important.